Hello and welcome on this glorious Friday afternoon in the virtual Bernabeu. My name is Armand Leblois, and right next to me I have arguably one of the best looking regional managers in all of Cisco, my brother Ahmed El-Kabani. Ahmed, how you feeling?
I'm feeling great, Armand.
Thank you, Ahmed. You're looking good too. You're looking quite sharp in that jersey, I must say.
I like yours as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cool.
It compliments my curves. So, guys, it's been 4 or 5 months in the making. Today, we've come to the culmination event, the final of the EMEA Real Madrid Networking Cup, one of the biggest, I think, competition we've ever managed. Today, we will see 24 teams compete from a region of 72 countries to be crowned champion of Europe, Middle East, and Africa. Ahmed, it's been a historic competition. Why don't you tell us a little bit, give us a feel of what's been going on so far?
Yes, by far, Armand, this has been the biggest NetAcad event ever in history. So we're very proud to be part of that. And we're very proud of the community that did it really, make it really work. Mm-hmm. And we have more than 100,000 people participate in that. We've never seen something like that. Today we have 24 teams.
24 teams from a bunch of different countries. And by the way, congratulations to all of those who made it to the semifinal. Congratulations for an amazing semifinal event that we saw yesterday. And of course, good luck to the 24 teams that will be competing in about 55 minutes from now. But don't go anywhere because we have an unbelievable program for you. We've got great keynote speakers, great fireside chats. And I think we're going to kick it off with a Cisco legend. Who do we have coming up?
Definitely the one and only, our CR7, Chris Reeves, the VP of EMEA Digital Impact Office.
And he will be greeting and he will be discussing with Brian Jones, who we often say has one of the best jobs in all of Cisco. We are super excited to hear from both of you. Chris, Brian, welcome, and over to you.
Hi, Ahmed. Hi, Armand. Great to see you. I saw the semi-finals were super close and really exciting. How are you feeling about the finals?
I feel good. I feel like we've got some strong European teams. We've got some strong EMEA CIS teams as well. It's going to be a close one. What do you think, Ahmed?
I think we're going to win.
Yeah, well, there it is. There it is. You heard it from the horse's mouth. If you're a betting man, rush down to the Vegas streets. Put some money down. It's going to be a EMEA champion. But anyway, Chris, we would love to hear from you and Brian.
One Cisco, yeah.
Yeah,
right, guys.
Absolutely. We're all winners.
I'm just going to say a few words, and I'm going to get Brian to introduce himself, and then I've got a few questions for Brian. So first of all, to introduce myself. So my name's Chris Reeves. I'm lucky enough to look after the Networking Academy program for Europe, Middle East, and Africa. I'm super proud of the work that Cisco does with the Networking Academy across the whole of the world. We trained 5 million students globally last year, which is a phenomenal impact. I'm particularly proud of the amazing work we do in Europe, Middle East, and Africa. This innovative competition that you guys have worked on is a great example of that. But also, our region is a very diverse region. We cover a lot of different cultures, a lot of different countries. And the EMEA program for Networking Academy touches so many different communities and changes students' lives, creates careers, and makes a real difference to communities around the world. So super happy to lead this for EMEA. Brian, would you like to introduce yourself before I ask you a few questions?
Yes, sir. So, hey, I'm really excited to be on here. I am such a monster fan of the Net Academy and the work that you guys do. And so when these guys reached out to me and said, hey, do you want to be part of this? We're highlighting the work we're doing with Real Madrid, and it's kind of the cornerstone of the program, which has been a really big deal for us. Bernabeu and the technology and the innovation that they really are helping drive in this space has been such a game changer for us in the region. And so I was thrilled to have the opportunity to be on here. I run our global partner field and revenue marketing around the globe. And these guys do give me a hard time because I also have the Minister of Fun reports to me. So we run all of the global sponsorship with McLaren, with Bernabeu, with Live Nation, a bunch of PGA stuff that we do. We just are in the process of signing something with Royal and Ancient. And so from a marketing perspective, it's our job to connect technology and the company to our customers and our partners. And so our marketing job is to really get out and mix it up here in the middle. And so I couldn't be more thrilled to be here. Chris, thanks for having me, and I'm ready to go.
Thanks, Brian, and thanks to your partnership on this program and for introducing us to Real Madrid and making that connection. We really appreciate that. Brian, you've got a really important job in Cisco. You lead our global marketing strategy. That gives you a unique perspective in seeing that intersection of sort of high performance sports and high value sports, and also digital innovation and where those two things cross. Could you give us a bit of perspective on that and your viewpoint on that?
Yeah, I think that you no longer have a situation, no matter what sport it is or what activity it is, where it's just about showing up, having a ticket, being part of something. It's about fan experience. It's about fan engagement now. The expectations are radically different for all of these properties, all of these teams, that they are connecting with their fan base on the day of the game, but also leading up to the game, after the game, during the season. And so that intersection of technology and innovation is really important. And the guys at Real Madrid and Bernabeu literally are on the cutting edge of what is possible from a fan experience perspective. Because I think the thing that everyone is faced with is, like a consumer has a set amount of money that they're going to spend against disposable income and what they're going to do with it. And so everyone has to compete and has to provide that amazing experience. And so the innovation of technology and it is critical to that fan experience. It's not just about getting to the stadium and knowing how to get there and knowing how to safely get there. It's about participating. It's about being able to participate through your own social channels. And so that always on connectivity, that monster amount of bandwidth that's needed in the stadium for the fan base to leverage is a really important part of that. And so that intersection of innovation and sport is going to continue to grow. And we see a ton of opportunity there. And the folks that are competing in this NetAcad are building the core capabilities and the core skill sets that are necessary to do that. Those core skill sets are an imperative now. That is not just a nice to have. It's an imperative that you have that skill set and that you can bring that skill set to something as challenging and as unique as this environment. That stadium goes from 0 to 100,000 in just a couple of hours, and then it goes back to 0. And it's always got to be on. It's always got to be connected. It's always got to be secured. And so it's a really complex world we live in. The technology makes that fan experience look seamless and look really easy, but it takes a ton of technology to make that stuff look easy. And I think the innovation that's being driven there is game changing.
Thank you, Brian. And technology, as we all know, technology is changing all industries, including live sports and the fan experience, as you say, Brian. And can you give us a bit of a view of Cisco's technology and the role Cisco has to play in that going forward?
Yeah, I think the thing that we bring to bear is when somebody comes into an environment, a fan environment, whether that's a stadium, whether that's a concert hall, whether that's a Formula One track with the work that we do with McLaren, you expect basic foundational things to be available. You expect there to be lights and electricity. You expect there to be water and services. Now everyone expects for you to be able to get your smartphone out, fire up your Wi-Fi connection, jump on a secure, super high-speed Wi-Fi connection. It's just like light and water now. And so, we provide that infrastructure that creates that fundamental connection between the fan and the experience and the teams and the competition that they're there to be part of. And so a big part of it is our networking, and that's the heritage of the company, and that's where the Net Academy really got started. But it's got to be more than that. It's got to be security. So when you connect up there, it has to be secure, right? And so that secure connection is a really important component. And so integrated security into the networking stack is a really important component of what Cisco provides there as well. And then it all needs to be AI powered, because we all have more responsibility, more work, more opportunity, but we're not getting a bunch of new resources, an additional budget to go drive that. And so their AI has to be embedded in that security, because the bad guys are using secure AI to attack our security. And so it's a two-way street, and it's got to be something that is very integrated in there. The AI and the observability and manageability that goes alongside that. And so we have a unique portfolio that can really come alongside a venue, a competition. And some of these things are not permanent either. So like one of the things that we do with Live Nation is we build temporary stadiums, essentially, when they're out doing a 3-day weekend music festival. We have to come in and build all of the technology, bring all the technology in for that Wi-Fi connection, that network connection, all the security pieces that go along with that. And then at the end of day 3, it all comes back down. And candidly, we do a lot of that work with NetAcad graduates and people that leverage the program that all of you guys are part of today, and I'm really excited for it.
No, absolutely, Brian. And I think secure internet connectivity is one of the services that people want to give up last, right? It's one of the main things they're looking for, and the ability to do that in a live environment like a football stadium's becoming increasingly important. So my next question is, so amazingly, we've had 108,000 student participants in this Real Madrid Networking Academy competition across all parts of Europe, Middle East, and Africa. I think 72 countries. A lot of these students are looking for the specific skills they're going to need to develop their careers, maybe enter this industry, the sports industry, and definitely the technology industry, whatever part of business they work in. Is there any advice that you would give them, and the skills that they should create and enhance to develop their careers going forward?
Yeah, no, I think just my own personal journey, right? My first degree is in mainframe computer science. I was a technical, I came into the industry on the technical side, and then I moved over to the sales and marketing side. Having that technical foundation, having that technical set of skills has served me my entire career. And so the foundational technology that these folks are developing through the Capture the Flag, through all the work that you do through these competitions, and the learning that goes along with it is I think foundational for where you're going to. All these folks are going to build their careers, and what they're going to use as a springboard to help change the world, but also provide for their families and provide for themselves. So that technical base and that product and that capability around understanding how to take a product and implement it for a business solution, I think that's really the foundation of what we're always looking for. I have technical resources in my sponsorship team that really enable these properties that we work with, McLaren, Live Nation, Bernabeu, the work that we do around the globe. So like you've got an opportunity to build a set of technical skills and capabilities, and that's great stuff. But it's imperative that you connect that up with your own personal learning around AI and how can AI help you be more efficient and be more effective. I think if you combine the work that we're doing there, and obviously that's front and center in some of the work that you guys do, I think those are the two fundamental capabilities. We're always looking for folks that understand the technology and can translate that technology into business impact and show the path between that stack of hardware and software, and how that's going to, in this space right here, enhance fan experience. And I'll tell you, when you look at the people that are the decision makers right now in these spaces, you can immediately, the second I meet these folks, within the first 15 minutes, I understand if they understand what innovation looks like in this space. And candidly, when we first met with the folks that power Bernabeu and Real Madrid, it was an immediate, these guys get it. And it's because they understand the technology, they know the value of technology, and they see what that can do, and then they know how to translate that into what they need to do with that stadium and that fan base and the global fan base that they have to serve. And so I think that what you guys are doing from a Net Academy perspective, this competition, the largest of its kind ever, that's amazing. I actually don't think I have the best job in all of Cisco. Your boss, my good friend, I think Guy Dietrich has the best job in the whole company, because we are powering this on a global scale. And I think there's just really good stuff there. And so I just want to say congratulations to everybody that's participated, and you're on the right track. Keep doing this, keep making those connections. That's what's going to power your career, power you through what you want to do in life.
Thank you, Brian. And just a final question for you. Our partnership with Real Madrid is vital to Cisco and our mission of humanizing technology. Can you just talk a little bit about, maybe how that started and the value that partnership with Real Madrid brings to Cisco?
Yeah, again, I think it starts with vision. It starts with vision on the side of Real Madrid and Bernabeu, the stadium, and when we met with them, they're like, hey, this is what we envision. This is where we want to get to with our fans and with our experience. How can you help us? And like when you meet with people that are visionary, you just know it, right? And so I think that the thing that they're most interested in, I think the thing that they're bringing to this experience is there's really two levels to it, right? How do you bring the interaction? How do you bring real-time video to a phone that's in the stadium? How do you make sure that the image that's on the big screens inside the stadium is synced up to that? Because, like, again, everybody has an expectation now: water, light, networking, right? And so that connectivity is really important. So that experience and how you enhance the game, the match, the concert experience that's at the stadium, that's really important. There's another layer to it, though. There's also a very practical layer that says, hey, we've got 80 to 100,000 people in one place. The world we live in is not without risk. And so if something was to happen, a natural disaster or some kind of attack, it's going to be physical potentially, right? But it's also certainly going to be cyber oriented. And so you have to have a resilient network so that you can also help guide people in a situation where there's an emergency. And so I think the folks at Real Madrid and at Bernabeu have really thought through that and have really worked to address both sides of that equation. One is the fan experience and the amazingness of human connection. That's why sports is such an important way for us as Cisco to tell our story. But the other part of it is also the responsibility of creating a secure connection that can also withstand a situation where there's an emergency. And so I think that's the humanization that goes into this technology, and that's the thing that we really focus on. And so these guys do it, and I am thrilled for you guys to have worked on projects that center on the technology that's there as part of this competition.
Brilliant. Thanks, Brian, and thanks again so much for the collaboration from the very start of this competition. We couldn't have done it without you, so thanks again. And with that, Ahmed, Armand, we'll hand back to you in the Bernabeu Stadium.
Thank you so much, Chris. And what I loved about what Brian just said is, water, lights, and the network, right? That's absolutely what the fan expects now in every fan experience. And so that's why this technology, why these skills are so crucial. But thank you so much, Brian, by the way. And thank you, Chris, for that incredible session. Ahmed, I want to play a little game with you before we go to our next thing.
I'm ready.
All right. So on the count of three, you and I are going to say the name of our favorite player. All right. You haven't said it to me. I haven't said it to you. Yeah. Real Madrid, favorite player. All right. On the count of three. 1, 2, 3.
Zizou.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yes, there you go.
It had to be Zinedine Zidane. I think that's pretty clear. It's absolutely without a margin of error there. So it's good to see that we're aligned because, we're going to be together for the next 90 minutes. It's good that we're on the same team on this thing. I love it. Okay. All right. Beautiful. So we've had an amazing deep dive from Brian Jones, but now it's time to do a deep dive on the method behind the madness. How was this competition built? Who's competing in it? And to provide us this brief, two people
Yes.
without whom none of this would be possible. Two people who change lives throughout a region of millions of learners every single day.
Yes.
It's our honor to be able to have on with us Raquel Martinez and Karim Abid. Both of you are going to walk us through this thing. Thank you. First of all, thank you so much for everything you've done. And we cannot wait to hear some details, because to be honest, if we're going to start betting, just like they asked us to do a little bit earlier in the show, we need to know who we're betting on and how do we tell whether or not we've won our money, right? So Raquel, Karim, over to you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, Armand. Thank you very much, Ahmed. So yes, here Raquel Martinez and Karim Abid, we are the technical managers for EMEA region. And Karim, how do you feel today?
Raquel, well, we finally made it to the final, Raquel. I feel tension here is very high. I can feel it everywhere, from Paris to South Africa, so excited, and feeling exactly the same way just before watching the Classico game, Raquel. Well, since you are based in Madrid, Raquel, I think you're the best person maybe to give us a quick brief about some of the special preparation rituals that you're usually doing in Madrid before the Classico.
Well, as you know, here in Spain, we are very passionate about football. And of course, in Madrid, Real Madrid is one of the biggest teams. So people really, wear their colors, such as, our managers here today, wearing their colors since the morning, prepare for the match, go for a drink. And really it's part of, enjoying the whole day, the atmosphere. So it's like, it's like a different day when there is like a big game. So, and today it is. What about you? Because I think in your region as well, many people, enjoy football, and even also as well Real Madrid.
In my region, really, we can describe it. It's really crazy. We are crazy with football. It's our true passion here in EMEA-CIS, and it's like eating and drinking for us. It's something really essential. So when it comes to the Classico game, we feel all in Madrid that day. I can even tell you that before the game, we have a lot of discussion. Even the day before the game, we have a lot of discussion about the score. We are betting and teasing each other. So, no one can just touch the remote even during the game. All the coffee shops are closed, busy, and so it's crazy, Raquel. Now, maybe taking you from all the feelings before the Classico game to the competition. This is the third time, Raquel, you built this competition. Can you just brief us about the format of the competition and how it's different this time from the previous ones?
Yeah, as you mentioned, so this is the third time that we are doing it here in Europe. But of course, every year we are going like bigger, better, more exciting. And this year, what best way to go better and bigger that, joining together also with your region. So we are going, to reach many more students, and also, joining with the, partnering with the Real Madrid. So just maybe for those who don't know about the competition, let's briefly introduce what the competition is about. Because today we're on the final, but it has been a long path, till we arrive here.
Indeed.
First of all, we've been doing this, starting with a learnathon, where all of our academies compete to train as many students as they can in the most important skills nowadays, such as cybersecurity, networking, AI, and they have a period of time for doing that. And the top 3 of each country, then they move into the semifinals. The semifinals happened yesterday, and we divided the regions. So Europe on one side, Middle East, Africa, and CIS on another one. And we divided each region into 3 groups where they were competing in a capture the flag format based on a Real Madrid learning collection that we specifically built for this purpose. And only the top 12, so meaning the top 4 of each of the groups, will make it to today, to the finals. So today we will see 12 teams from Europe, 12 teams from Middle East, Africa, and CIS. And I think the format, is working like really well, because people are enjoying learning, new skills, and also getting them, pushing them, let's say, to the limit, and all the teamwork that is involved for this. Now, let me know what, how do you feel about this format? Because it's the first time that, you are doing this format together with us. So, how does your region?
Yeah, Raquel, it's really incredible. It's the first time that we do it in that big scale, We used to do it within our region. Yes, a lot of learners we have done with the CTF, but it wasn't that big. Honestly, with the huge efforts from our partners, the commitment, dedication, and, and collaboration as well. it went very well, and that's why we have a such really successful competition today. Without forgetting our internal teams as well, Raquel. So Ahmad, Arman, Chris, and Patty, Gianna, everyone. You, of course, with the incredible support. So that's why we had this incredible competition as well. Well, Raquel, you have mentioned the learning collection, right? And that was part of the competition. Can you just give us a brief about the learning collection and why we just build this learning collection rather than giving access to an existing course we have on the NetAcad?
Yeah, that's a great question, because actually, we have so many great courses already on NetAcad, so why not use that for the competition? But well, because what we want to do is we want to bring a different experience for the students. They already learning the skills thanks to our courses, but now we want to give them a view of how those skills that they are gaining in the courses are actually implemented in the real world. And especially in areas where they may be interested, such as football. Last year, we did it with Formula One, with McLaren, and who knows where it comes, next year. So I think that's building a different experience. So learning is not only about gaining the knowledge, but it's also about the teamwork and, getting also the hands-on experience. So I think that is crucial. And that's why I think this Real Madrid Learning Collection, was really important to be built for this specific purpose.
Yeah.
And you also been part of, the creation of this. So which things did you consider and, had in mind when creating the content?
Well, this learning collection, as you said, was just to show our learners how we empowered, Cisco empowered the Santiago Bernabeu with our different technology. We aim to expose those learners as well with one of the real world massive project like the stadium, and how they are implemented on ground, how they actually work. And this is very important. So some of those technology listed in the learning collection, Raquel, could be a little bit advanced, right? Especially when we get deeper into how they operate and work together, like software-defined access and ACI with some of the architecture, spine and leaf and so on, with the controllers and Wi-Fi 6 and 7 as well, how we empower the Santiago Bernabeu to cover more than 80,000 same time with the connectivity. IPFM was part of the learning collection. So all of those topics were a little bit advanced. One of the things that we took in consideration, how to make it simple, how to simplify the content and make it at the level of the target audience, make it as well engaging and interactive with a lot of resources and elements for the learners. And the second important factor was the time. We are giving access to this content just for 14 days. So we wanted to make sure that the content will be aligned with the time. They will grasp all the information before the competition. And this is even, it takes us to that third question, Raquel. When we created this content, we were thinking about how we are going to create the competition out of this content on the CTF. So can you give us a little bit brief as well on how we have done this?
Yeah, I think nowadays, especially, there is a challenge because, of course, you have, AI that it may assist you to create some things, but then you also have in mind that the students are going to use AI to solve the challenge. And that really becomes a challenge. And that is where we actually take, our creativity, innovation to try to bring a challenge that, is not like an AI bot is going to be able to solve everything. Also, when creating the content, you're already adding some of the content into the platform, and then you immediately think, well, that is actually going to be a flag. I'm pretty sure that they will have to look or think, to try to get this type of flag. But that's it. We try to make it in a way that, of course, there will be some flags more, let's say, static, but we try to make a little bit of a challenge, right? That is, they can really need to, let's say, scratch their heads, to be able to solve it. So what about you, Karim? What do you think maybe students, which type of questions they will struggle the most?
Well, the most challenging, Raquel, are usually those who are with more practical skills needed. So when it comes to simulation tools like Packet Tracer, sometimes virtual machine, not today, but sometimes virtual machine integrated. So Packet Tracer is today in the competition. In this case, CTF, demand multiple skills together, especially under pressure. Within 60 minutes today, I think it's gonna be a tough competition, and maybe some of the learners will freeze up for a few seconds. They will need to act quickly. So that brings us to the importance of hints as well, right? So that's why we have included hints on some of the flags or all the flags today. So we were focusing exactly as you said while creating this to be AI resistant. So it means that trying to test more the critical thinking and hands-on experience for the learners. While today still query model is very critical and important nowadays, but as you said, we wanted to make it more practical today. So yeah, Raquel, can you just also give us a quick summary, a final summary on the competition, what happened, and what do you think what's going to happen today and yesterday as well?
Yeah, actually yesterday I think it was, really exciting to see. I really felt like, watching maybe a finals in a football match because you will see things happening through all the time. Maybe the first 25 minutes teams started really strong and, probably they were thinking, oh, we made it to the top, we're going to be in the top. But never forget those who maybe go slower and, steady and getting their flags without any hints. I was really surprised that some teams came, much later, but they got more points and they made it to the end. I think we have a very strong, very strong teams today from my region. So how did you feel yesterday about your team?
We have very strong teams from our region as well, Raquel. So it's going to be a tough one. And we are looking forward who's gonna lift the cup by the end. But yesterday it was on fire, right? We were not able to remove our eyes from the leaderboard. So we were moving from group 1 and 2, and every second it was just changing, right? So it was very tough. All partners have shown very high competition till the last seconds, and you have seen this, Raquel. So I've seen in group 3, for example, Egypt, Pakistan, and Morocco were excluded just at the final seconds. Group 2, Qatar as well jumped at the first rank just in the final seconds. So it was incredible, and I believe that today is going to be more tougher and stronger.
So what do you think, the team that will win today, which kind of skills or which kind of team will win today?
Well, a good question. It's going to be exactly like, a strong football team. They need to focus more on being a team, right? It's not about individual talent or how strong they are technically. Yeah, that's important, but they need to work as a group, synchronously, communicating effectively, and being high organized. So I think this is very important. The harmony between them, that will be important, Raquel. So
yeah,
Raquel,
I actually feel the same. I think, like, first of all, teamwork is going to be really important. And a team like that is will actually, have a combination of skills. Like, not every player should be the same. Not every player is going to score a goal or, is going to defend. So I think they should have different skills. We probably have a packet tracers expert, maybe someone who is more into networking, maybe a team leader, managing everyone. And maybe like someone with more creativity and a different thinker. I think that will make probably the best team to win.
We will see. Will be Mbappe and Vinicius for today. I think we will have a lot. So Raquel, one last thing. I think you wanted to promote a great course that we have now on the NetAcad. So yeah. Subnetting, right? So yeah, please.
Yeah. So we actually were thinking, there may be many people who don't know much about NetAcad, that doesn't know much about our courses or even about networking. And we were thinking, like, which course maybe, could be the best way to get them inside, networking and see, how this works. So Karim, what we decided, let's say, that would be the best course for this?
Yeah, right. So this course, especially subnetting, when I heard the term, it reminded me of a lot of, bad days. I remember subnetting was very challenging for me at the beginning of my career, and I can say for most of the instructors watching us today and learners. So having this, I think it will facilitate, right, the mission for learners and instructor. What do you think, Raquel?
Yeah, I agree. So for those who are watching and maybe interested, I think subnetting is the base, from if you master this, then you will make it anywhere in networking. So you can scan this QR code. It will take you straight to this subnetting course that is gamified. So you will feel like you are playing a game instead of learning, and you will be doing both things at the same time. So I think with that, we can leave you with our host today, and we are very excited to see what is happening on the final. So stay tuned, and well, good luck.
Good luck, everyone.
Thank you, Raquel and Karim. Thank you for that incredible presentation. So guys, you heard it from Raquel and Karim. This new module, this new course is meant to be able to help you with hands-on learning, deal with the complex issue that is subnetting in a fun, gamified way. That's the Cisco Networking Academy style, is to learn by doing, stay engaging, and keep learners engaged. By the way, Justin, Karim, and Raquel, as you guys were talking, we decided that whoever loses, whichever region loses the final this time, that technical manager will have to build next year's competition on their own. So good luck with that. But we're going to move on with our show because we have one of the most steadfast ambassadors of the Cisco Networking Academy, an absolute passionate advocate of the work that we do, of the impact that we bring as Ciscoans and as the Cisco Networking Academy. Ahmed, why don't you tell us who's up next?
I'm a big fan, and he's also another Cisco legend and a person that you will always enjoy watching. So, Agostino Santoni. To you, Agostino, but before we start, I just want to ask you a question. Since being an Italian passionate about football, who's your favorite player ever?
Wow, that is a tough question. So being a proud Italian, just to let you know that we are not anymore so passionate about football because we are now in tennis. We love Sinner now. So football, it's the past, but of course we love football. My favorite player is Maldini, Paolo Maldini.
Bro. Okay. Yeah. And Paolo Maldini, absolutely a legend as we were growing up, obviously, that marked world football, one of the greatest defenders to ever play the game. Agostino, as SVP of sales in Europe South, you've been an unconditional supporter of us. So first of all, a huge thank you, as always, for joining us. I don't think there's a single Netacad event of this size that you've missed out on. So you're the frequent flyer with us, and I want to thank you for that. So Agostino, we have one really intimate question that we'd like to kick it off because you're one of those Cisco execs who understands the power of a story. And what we wanted to really see with you is what's a particular Netacad success story that has really kind of reinforced for you the value or that really touched you about how the impact that this program brings?
Wow, great question. Always a pleasure to be with all of you. Came to my mind three names. The first name is Hannah. Yesterday, I was in Vienna, in Schladming, actually, close to 3 hours far from Vienna, and we celebrated the incredible achievement of 100,000 students trained in Austria. And we award Hannah. Hannah, she's super smart and super nerd. She's contributing with quantum networking research to make the banking sector in Austria safer. The second name is Antonio Palmas, from Networking Academy, of being the president of Boeing EMEA. So what an incredible career development. And the third that is always touching my heart and my brain is Luigi. So the experience we had as a company creating the Cisco Academy in prisons, completely unforgettable.
Incredible. And for those who don't know, this famous story of Luigi then became a book, then became a film, was also a documentary. It's gone around the world. And that's thanks to you, Agostino. You made Netacad Hollywood famous. So we owe you a great deal of thanks.
By the way, I love to see you with your amazing T-shirt from Real Madrid.
Blaze, we have to first of all thanks our great friends at Real Madrid. Without them, we wouldn't be able to have this kind of global footprint for our competition. And honestly, he looks better in it than I do, but I think we both look pretty good for a Friday. I'm going to say.
You look so smart. Congratulations.
Okay, Ahmed, so you have the next question for Agostino. Over to you.
Yes, Agostino, from your own point of view, what are the future-proof skills that students must cultivate to succeed at Cisco?
Yeah, it's a top of mind question of all leaders, I would say, in the world. How can you create the next generation of talents and what is needed? I always like to say that, and that's one of the reasons I'm always with you, is that, I mean, talent is equally distributed in the world. Opportunities are not. And thanks to this amazing program, we are every single day the bridge between the talents and the opportunities. Now, more in detail, I see, let's say, three main things I would like to highlight. First, it's so important the way the students, and when students, I'm saying everyone, we learn, and the methodology around. So everything around project-based learning or cooperative learning and problem-based learning. So all these different ways to learn is super important. And this is a message, of course, for the teachers that are helping the students. Then on the other aspect, so what is needed? Of course, when you look at technology, you do need to have technology background. There are also other features that are important. One is critical thinking. That's super important. The second one is around communication. If there is one thing that I would like to highlight big time for your career development is build your communication skill. Don't underestimate the power of the way you are communicating to a big audience in a small meeting with one person, super relevant. And the other element is flexibility and adaptability in different environments. That is important. The third element that we as Cisco, we can help, but the entire industry can help is how can we make sure that we are accelerating the engagement from companies to the talent, to give the talents and the students, of course, the experience needed to accelerate their career development in companies. Super relevant topic.
Fantastic. And Agostino, I mean, it's too true. And you are one of the masters of communication when it comes to being able to tell this story. And it's very true that so much of the work that we are able to deliver is because people understand the message that we're bringing. And so the ability of an individual to clearly and sometimes succinctly express and communicate an idea, a desire, an ambition is the difference between being able to move forward and not. Agostino, let me ask you something that's very apropos, because I'm sure everybody ripped open their newspapers to check out the new AI news of the day. But, you know, there's a huge shifting operational model in networking and cybersecurity linked to the acceleration of AI. Everybody saw in the news about Mythos and about Anthropic. Why don't you tell us a little bit what you're feeling, in particular from deciders, from people who are the users of the technology, the big enterprise customers, the big enterprise, and the public sector customers as well. I think, you know, having our students, having our viewers understand what are they feeling in terms of this transformation and transition, and, you know, what are your observations?
Yeah, the biggest conversation we are having both with private and public sector is the following. First of all, we are all AI consumers. But then when you go back in your day-to-day job, you say, hey, how can I maximize the AI experience? And AI experience in business means how I'm redesigning and redefining my business processes, taking advantage of the new technology. So what is needed? The combination of, I know exactly what does it mean AI from the technology point of view. At the same time, how can I take the capabilities to build business process knowledge? When you combine these two, you create AI-powered and augmented capabilities that accelerate the success of the talent and also the company. From technology point of view, super easy. While everyone understands that AI is super fast, when you prompt something, then at the same time, think about how fast this data should go to the company's business processes. So in order to distribute this data at unprecedented speed, you need to have an incredible network. And of course, the network has to be AI powered. Then you look at the performances and you see the data flow, say, hey, imagine that the bad guy are using technology to enter in business processes of our clients. So that's why security, it's super relevant, even more than in the past. And my consideration is think about secure network. Think about how can we help, and also how can you develop your skill, combining the network capability with the security capability. If there is one capability that is super relevant today, is the ability to understand the network and security together, AI powered. When you have such talent, capability, and competencies, I'm super confident that you will get an amazing career development.
Thank you for that, Agostino. And Ahmed has one last question, if we may, and maybe I'll have a quick follow-up depending on how much time you have left with us. But we also want to know about you, about your career, because it's often by inspiring ourselves on those who have, had a fantastic career and been able to do so many amazing things that we can kind of pick up on some of the key things that we'll need to think about when we have to make key decisions and key choices in our careers as we go forward in life. Ahmed.
Agostino, as an SVP at Cisco and one of the Cisco legends and faces of the company in your region, what is a pivotal aha moment that you had in your career that helped you reach that level?
So of course, being extremely young, I have don't smile so much, man. Stay humble. Come on, you are laughing.
Over 18.
No, you are laughing with your Real Madrid t-shirt. There are three main moments that define my career development. The first moment is when I decided to look always to how can I develop my next role. The second that requires a bit, it happens after some years of work to define the person you want to be. And the third element that accelerate my development and my career, I would say in all companies I work for, but significantly in Cisco, this is basic concept that if you are saying it's gonna happen. And if I look at the partnership, came to my mind, Armand or Chris. I mean, so many times when we agree to do something that sounds impossible at that moment, we said yes. And we were not aware of the implication of the yes, but through determination, through ambition, through connecting all the people, to bringing him, to creating amazing project like this one, then people will help you to make it happen. So if you say, it's gonna happen.
Amazing.
I love that, Agostino, and I love that question of and that concept of projecting yourself into your next role. What are the skills that I need to be at the next role that I want? Not just how do I want to look when I get there, but what will I have to learn to get there? And that's a really, I think, a very valuable piece of advice.
Armand, my first ambition, what was it? So then you can understand how old I am. My first ambition was to have a job with a tie.
That's a good one.
and now you're going for the relaxed tech style. So now the tie's gone. So I mean, you've gone the other way.
No, but it's coming back. It's coming back. It's the revenge of the tie.
Listen. The revenge of the tie. I'm very much on team tie. I'm trying to bring it back too. It's true. Agostino, 1,000 thank yous. Before you leave us, is there a message you want to give to the 24 teams that are stretching their fingers, getting ready to compete, and that will be involved in this final in just over 10 minutes?
So enjoy the ride, enjoy the competition, and every one of you will win. And good luck to the students and to the teacher, and particular thanks to the teachers that are instrumental to give opportunities to the students. So thank you very much for inviting me, and all the best.
Thank you, Agostino. 1,000 thank yous, and we'll see you soon. Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So guys, an amazing, as usual, Agostino knocks it out of the park. What are we going to do? He's our best presenter. What are we going to do? I mean,
can't have without him.
I have to say that, like, one of the things that I love about Agostino is his ability to break down kind of into simple concepts what it is that you need to think about. Because it's true that in the everyday world now, with the way we're solicited through social media and do this on LinkedIn and do that, it's very easy to lose sight of the concrete basic steps that you need to actually take to be able to move forward in your career, in your studies, and whatever it is that you want to do. What was your favorite part so far of what we've seen?
Agostino's always been impressive. Like I asked him multiple times similar questions, and he always gave me very interesting answers. And usually it's all about being yourself. Don't worry too much. Just try to improve, build, and learn. So that's Agostino.
Yeah, amazing. So we're 10 minutes out, guys. And the reality is, once we start, it's going to be so action-packed that we won't have the time to do what we should do at all times.
Yeah.
They were mentioned by name, but there's something that Ahmed and myself, we want to do. We want to make sure that the people who work in the back office on this competition, Patty Sloan, Tracy Gunn, Lynn Bloomer, all three of you guys and your teams have made this happen.
Absolutely.
Anand also, who's helping us with the Capture the Flag platform. Without you, none of this would be possible. So we owe our deepest debt of gratitude on behalf of the entire region for everything that you've done for us. And a huge thank you. If you guys are watching us, I hope we've done justice so far to this amazing thing that you guys have put together.
Yes.
And we also want to thank our friends at Logotel for the incredible setup that we have here. It's not easy to move all this equipment into the virtual Bernabeu. I'll tell you, they were running around. There were trucks that were coming in and out, microphones being dropped, thrown around, but we got there. We're here. We're feeling good. Yeah. I hear the noise is starting to come up. So in a little bit, we're probably going to have to put on a special piece of equipment. Right?
We need also to give special thanks to our teams.
Absolutely.
Our BDMs, they are the real heroes on the ground as well.
Right.
So we need just to give them a great applause and thank you guys.
That's right. And all of you, and as well as our partners, right, for pushing, for making sure that we got the adoption, we got the learners connected. And guys, over 80,000 completions. Mm-hmm. Over 80,000 completions. That's 80,000 students who individually were able to go get a new type of badge, a new type of learning, a new type of skill set. And that is incredible. That is the Cisco impact. That's why we get up every day.
Absolutely.
Right? All right, guys. So the stage is set. The teams are getting ready. We're going to talk about the agenda for the rest of this final phase before we get jumped in. So we're going to have an incredible interview with Nieves Evia. Nieves, a great friend of ours and was instrumental in making sure the day-to-day of the relationship with Real Madrid worked. What do we have after that, Ahmed? I believe it's
a
quick competition.
It's a competition check-in.
That's right. So because what we want to do is we want to make sure that all of you keep abreast of what's going on, right? We're going to be watching the rankings. I'm sure all of you will be at home. But, we want to make sure that we do a check-in from time to time as we have 1 hour of intense competition to crown the champion of Europe, Middle East, and Africa. And then after that, we have a really cool guest.
Yes, Alexis.
That's right. Alexis, an ex-Ciscoan, right?
Absolutely, and a big influencer.
That's right, on LinkedIn. So Alexis, first of all, a huge thank you when you'll be joining us a little bit later. For those of you who don't know her, Alexis Bertolf right now is one of the growing influencers on LinkedIn to talk about networking, cybersecurity. And if you're a Ciscoan watching us, keep an eye out on Cisco Live because you might find her taking a few videos and sharing what's the latest on technology and what's the latest evolution on Cisco's products. Now, as we get ready to launch this thing, there is a really fundamental piece of information that I think everybody needs to have, is that these 24 teams finished first within the top 3 of their country.
Yes.
And then within the top 12 of their region. You see them up on your screen now, I believe. As you can see, we have teams from Spain, from Tunisia, from Iraq. Where else, Ahmed?
From Oman, from Romania, Bulgaria, Qatar, Iraq.
So we have countries from all over the region, and each team is composed, as they described earlier, of 4 players, right? And each and every one will be playing their own role to try to get their team to the top to win this competition. This is a unique format. It has never been done at this scale, not in the history of Cisco, and frankly, not in the history of anything I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
So our huge thanks to everybody who participated. And I think this stands as living proof that, when there's a will, there's a way, and there's no crazy idea that we can't pull off. Thank you, Raquel and Karim, again for the sleepless nights. All right, the noise is a little bit deafening at this point, so I think we're going to go ahead and equip ourselves with our headsets. Ahmed, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we're good? Okay,
Absolutely.
fantastic. I think for me, what's going to be absolutely essential going forward for the next 55 minutes is we're going to have to drink some water. We're going to have to hydrate at some point. Honestly, I'm getting a little bit parched. But we're going to have to drink some water. We're going to have to keep our nerves in control. I don't know about you, but when I watch football, I tend to get a little bit emotional. Let's just say I have to isolate sometimes.
I don't want to tell people what I do.
So, that's right. Everybody has their, hidden challenges. These are ours. As we count down, one also very important thing is walking people through what it has taken us to get all the way to here. So the registration phase began in October. We had, I think, almost 3 months, 2.5 months of registration.
Almost, yeah.
For 6 weeks of competition. So when you see 100,000 students, bear in mind that 100,000 students competed in 72 countries in just 6 weeks. So it begs to...
It's a lot of work.
Exactly, and it makes you think what we could have done if we did it in 6 months.
Yes.
So we are set. We are ready to go. We have 5 minutes left. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to come back to launch us into the competition.
Good luck, guys.
Welcome back to those who are just joining us on this glorious Friday afternoon as we get ready for kickoff of the final of the EMEA Real Madrid Netacad Cup. Ahmed, the excitement's building. I'm starting to get those butterflies. You getting those butterflies?
Yes, I can't wait.
I mean, also I want the snack guy. I saw the snack guy walking through the stadium. I hope he's going to swing through here because we're getting proper hungry up in here. But hey, that's just our problem, not yours. So listen, Ahmed, one of the things, there's a great saying that if a tree falls in a forest, but no one's around to hear it, doesn't make a sound, right? And it's with that we want to personally thank somebody whose leadership has allowed us to have some of the most amazing designs and backgrounds, some of the most amazing social media promotion, and obviously a phenomenal selection of co-hosts, right?
Yes.
Without this woman, they would have never found this kind of talent. I mean, let's be honest, this kind of talent is hard to come by.
Makes her special.
That makes her special. She's a hell of a
Absolutely.
talent scout. So we want to personally we're going to thank you guys. Grazie mille, Gianna Licalzi, for all of your amazing work promoting this, dreaming about this, and making this become a reality with us. How much time do we have left? Quick count check.
30 seconds.
30 seconds, guys. 30 seconds until the start. I'm going to ask our friends in the studio to make a quick sign when we're 10 seconds out, and we'll start the countdown. We'll do the countdown all together and launch ourselves into the competition. The noise is building up. I can hear the chants now, right? Good luck to all of us. Good luck to all the teams that are about to compete. This is the big one. The winner goes to Madrid. The winner goes to the Bernabeu. This is the moment to be the champion of EMEA.
All of you guys are winners, so just do your best.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Go.
Start. And they're off. All right. So now that the competition is launched in earnest, and then the points are going to begin to start racking up live. Here we go. We have our first movements on the board. Tunisia with the early lead. There we go. La Tunisie. La Tunisie. La Tunisie. Unbelievable. All right. So, guys, we've got an hour, and if we start shouting like this for an hour, I'm going to go coarse. He's going to hate me, and then we're both going to need sips of water. So we're going to take a quick break from the standings because we have an amazing discussion to have now with Nieves Evia. Nieves, I don't know if you can hear us. We're calling you out from the... Can you hear us, Nieves?
Yes, yes, I can. The energy is, I'm nervous myself. So yeah, I'm here.
There you go. Well, first of all, Nieves, a huge thank you. We're going to get into what it is that you do and how you've been able to help us through this entire story. But we first want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts, because all of this, right, all of the ability to work day and day and muscle out all the nitty-gritty details, it was thanks to you who served as our bridge, right, Cisco? We always want to be the bridge. You've been the bridge for us on this one, so a huge thank you to you. We owe you a big debt of gratitude. Nieves, why don't you introduce yourself, and then we'll have Ahmed kick us off with the first question.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thanks to you. I really believe in this contest, in this initiative, and I'm a big fan of NetAcad. So when you called me with the idea, like Agostino said, it was just, we just looked for the way to make it happen. So definitely it's I'll say a mutual success, and most of all for the students. So yeah, good day, everybody. The energy here today is electric, and I'm feeling like this is exactly where the future of the telecom industry is being built. I want to address the students and the contestants directly, because you guys are not just like solving labs today. You are actually mastering the systems that connect the world that we live in, right? I'm Nieves Evia. I'm the sales director of Cisco Spain, and proud sponsor of Net Academy Cup this year. And I'm here to take you a little bit what I can behind the scenes of one of our most iconic partnerships, Real Madrid and Cisco Systems.
Thank you so much, Nieves. Thank you. Ahmed.
So, Nieves, as a technology leader like Cisco, why do we partner with a club like Real Madrid? Can you tell us more about that?
Absolutely. So you might be wondering why Cisco and sports, why Cisco and football. Our leader, Brian Jones, in sports and entertainment, touched base a little bit earlier on this. But what I can tell you from the local perspective is that really this partnership is a culmination of a 20-year relationship between these two companies that have been, working together and innovating together for more than 2 decades. So when the new Stadium Santiago Bernabeu was to be built, it was just a natural step to, let's say, like formalize this in a partnership. And then, like for us, for Cisco and in EMEA region, Bernabeu is our global standard. So everybody wants to visit Bernabeu, everybody wants to be here, everybody knows this building, it's a huge reference. So if we at Cisco can design this high-density secure network handling the demands of more than 85,000 fans, what is impossible to us? Nothing, right? So we can solve the same challenges together with our partners for any enterprise, any hospital, any government agency. And and actually coincidentally, 85,000 fans and 80,000 competitors in this year in the competition, right? So it's like you build a number. So it's really, really, really fantastic. And well, furthermore, when we study our customers at Cisco, which we do very frequently, 3 out of 4 say football is their favorite sport. So it's just, again, a natural way for us at Cisco to be there, to be close to where the passion of our customers live and be able to create these engagement experiences together.
Fantastic. Thank you for that, Nieves. And obviously, so the follow-up question is, you've told us about the why, you've told us about the meaning it can generate with our customers, with the perception of our brand, with how we position ourselves. And of course, an institution like Real Madrid, it was explained to us by Enrique when we went with you to the offices in Madrid. They were very clear at Madrid, they can only have the best. And if it isn't the best, Real Madrid is not interested. So why don't you walk us through, if you can, without maybe going into too many details, if they're sensitive, about the technology stack inside the iconic venue, and how did we transform, or how did we partner to transform the experience in the Bernabeu?
Yeah, absolutely. So it really starts with a vision, and to truly understand the Bernabeu, we need to think farther. So it's not just a building, it's not just a venue, it's like a massive hyper-connected digital organism, if we can call it that, right? So first of all, let's talk about the scale. The numbers are staggering. So we are supporting more than 20,000 concurrent users, managing more than 1,500 access points across our controllers. But in a stadium, it's not just about the number of devices, but the density and the bursty nature of the traffic. And let me get a bit technical here, right, with the nature of what we're dealing with. So if you have these 85,000 fans trying to do live video calls, which are supported nowadays in the stadium, upload pictures, stream replays, everything, everybody at the same exact second a goal is scored. So this is like a super huge test, stress test for a network. Then to handle all this traffic and its nature, we build the foundation on a robust ACI multi-pod architecture. We integrate with a software-defined access network across more than 400 switches. And this architecture is going to give us the agility and the resiliency we need to segment the traffic, to prioritize mission-critical traffic, and recover from failures in milliseconds. So this is like a well-engineered machine, let's say. And technology, we know it's only great if it enhances the human experience. Sometimes it's always behind the scenes, right? But in the case of Bernabeu, we actually see the product of technology, because Cisco Vision comes in and the IP fabric for the AV network as well is there. So we are talking about 1,700 media players connected, delivering dynamic, high-definition content to every corner of the stadium. So this is not just like digital signage, but it's like giving a fan the experience that they want when they are there at the core of a match. And well, of course, nothing of this matters if it's not secure. So there's also the Cisco security layer with Cisco Eyes, and which is protecting the network from the edge to the data center. And now, again, we are also implementing and designing Cisco observability measures to powered by AI to eliminate blind spots and fix issues even before the fan detects them. So even if it's a stadium, it's an evolving situation in technology, and we try to apply every innovation that we have to make Bernabeu what is it today, this reference, this ultimate, let's say, Cisco end-to-end story, where our compute, storage, networking work in perfect harmony to deliver true digital resilience. And it doesn't matter whether you're a fan or whether you're the IT team behind the scenes organizing all these. The idea is that we deliver this seamless world-class experience.
Thank you, Nieves. And I believe that this stack, this technology, this opportunity of having transformed the Bernabeu experience, both from a user but also from a management in turn, was one of the key aspects that actually convinced the NFL to come over to the Bernabeu and to come and sample what it was to produce an NFL game in Europe. Do you have anything that you can share about that experience, about having seen Real Madrid put on that incredible show that they did a few months ago?
Yeah, I mean, we were super proud because the feedback that we got when the NFL audit team came here was that the technology was so, let's say, far ahead and ready to play, that they were super happy with it. And as Cisco, we are always powering the NFL, so it was just seamless for them, easy for them to translate their production, but also all of their security and protection of the fan that touch base as well into the Bernabeu. So it was two great teams of excellence talking to each other at the same level. Really proud moment for us.
Awesome. Ahmed.
Yeah, apparently it's not just the stadium.
No,
so it's too big and too complex.
That's right.
How does this partnership translate into real world impact? And what is a career inspiring message you give to the next generation of engineers?
Yeah, I mean, well, I can say that when I was a kid, long ago, I was always fascinated by this invisible connection that make technology work. I was also a Real Madrid fan, cheering the team from afar. So I would never have imagined that, I would that my career in technology would lead me here to be part of the very team that powers the stadium. So I grew up, this stadium I grew up admiring and singing songs about. So, and having experiences with the club, with the team. So this for me is a proof that curiosity and commitment to learning, and I don't know, if a lucky spot to get into technology early on can take you to places you never even thought were possible, right? For you at work. And also, I'm a bit of a rusty but active CCIE, so technological background. And I can tell the contestants that the complexity you see at the Bernabeu, this is the ultimate taste for an engineer's skill. So it's more than about passing exams. So this knowledge that you are getting here, it's going to apply to here, but to everywhere, because this is about the ability to design the systems that will impact millions of lives. So it's really, really super exciting. So it's like real life. It's connected, And also, I'm very, very proud of the collaboration between Cisco Network Academy and Real Madrid, because it brings together these two worlds. You mentioned the bridge before between technology and sports. And this is the opportunity to inspire the next generation to dream, to learn, and to succeed. So I want to finish with to those of you guys in the NetAcad Cup with a message. Congratulations. So you are already demonstrating this curiosity, this technical rigor required to build these bridges between these worlds. So I know, guys, that probably you are super excited now in the heat of the competition, but keep exploring, keep questioning, keep building. And my message to the team is that you guys are the technology architects of the future.
Amazing.
Thank you very much, Nieves. By the way, Rusty CCIE is still CCIE. So our hats off to you, because we know exactly how challenging it is to be able to get that certification. Before we let you go, I have two more questions for you. One, you mentioned that you are a Real Madrid fan. Is that a family affair? Is the whole family Real Madrid?
I'm afraid it's so. Yeah, it's something that you kind of inherit. So I didn't really ask for it. Yeah.
Well, that's the beauty of football. Sometimes we say, hey, I'm blessed for having been born this way. And other times we say, I didn't really ask for all this pain. It's true. It happens a lot. And the second question I have for you is obviously such a big deal, such a tremendous project, such a huge undertaking. Can you give us a little bit the team composition from the Cisco side that it took to be able to deliver on this incredible project? And if you want to give some of your colleagues a big shout out, feel free, because we always love at Cisco to be able to recognize when some of our colleagues do some of the amazing things. So why don't you tell us, when Cisco shows up to a stadium and we say, hey, we're going to help you transform this experience, what kind of personnel, what kind of players, what kind of midfielders and strikers do we have?
Oh, yeah. Wow. That's a very interesting question. And I don't want to leave anyone out when I name people. So first,
I put you under pressure. I get it.
yeah, I know. But first, let me say that we are like walking on the shoulders of giants. I think there's an expression that says that, because actually we are, like harvesting the hard work of many generations of Cisconians and partner teams before us. So I've been with Real Madrid in this capacity of sales manager for 3 years now or so. So as you can imagine, many others came before me. I want to take the advantage to shout out to the account team, Rafa and Enrique, who work daily with Real Madrid. And I want to shout out as well to CX team. So customer experience team or engineers are fantastic. I wanted to have today Patricia with me, but also Fernando, also, Victor, Miguel Angel, Ana before. So everybody who works day to day to Real Madrid to keep this stadium alive and well. And I won't mention the partners so that anybody gets offended, but also the partners are there working with us hand by hand every day. So it's a team sport. So I got the opportunity to be here in the spotlight, but a lot of people are here, and obviously the leadership. So Agostino, who was here, Andrea as well, and everybody who has supported us in building this partnership from the commercial side, from the technical side, and from the marketing side. So shout out to everybody. Hope that I haven't forget anybody.
Thank you, Nieves. And that's let that serve as a testimonial to anybody that when Cisco rocks up to empower the transformation of your stadium, we rock up with the A squad to make it happen. And that's, I think, the power of one Cisco, correct?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, Nieves, listen, it's Friday, so we also have to let you go to start enjoying your weekend, hopefully in a few hours here. I hope that you'll be able to stay connected with us at least for another 45 minutes to see who becomes champion of Europe, Middle East, and Africa. But a huge thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely. I can't wait. Congrats, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Time for a check-in.
A check-in. Boom. Let's see the standings. Standings,
What's happening?
please. All right. So,
Who's leading the way?
yeah, can we get a little bit of a zoom in on the standings so that we can see? Perfect. So there we go.
Romania.
Number one is Romania and Bahrain. Look at this, rocking the top of the standings.
Italy, Portugal.
They're flying through. So remember, guys, the particularity of this final is that you cannot progress to the next question if you have not solved the question at hand. Contrary to the semifinal, where you could pick the question you wanted to answer. What have you been seeing, Raquel, Karim? Tell us, what have you been seeing? What have you been observing?
Well, Arman, the leaderboard is very hot and spicy, and as you see, I think some of those were really stuck in flag 7. Flag 7 was very hard to bypass, right, Raquel? It was a hard one, and we knew it.
It was very funny that, we were discussing before about the importance of subnetting, and I saw many teams stuck in a subnetting task. So guys, you know where you actually need to go, to master your subnetting skills. But it's really interesting because, we are seeing the people progress, and as you mentioned, they need to go flag by flag. They cannot jump to the next.
Raquel, sorry for cutting you off, but this is, you couldn't do a better advertisement for the subnetting course than what you've just done. Literally, it can be the difference between being the champion and not. It can be the difference between going to the Bernabeu and not. So work on your subnetting, go on this course. Karim, what are you feeling right now? What do you think? Do you think that there's going to be a comeback?
Yeah, we have a comeback. We are very confident. Remember yesterday, just in last few seconds, ranking was changing, right? Arman, Raquel, what do you feel, Raquel? We are confident to make it, right, to lift the cup. What do you think?
It's very tight.
Exactly. So I think, and probably I think it's really interesting to watch also from let's say the creator side, because you know exactly where they are at the moment. So where you see those flags that they cut 11 flags, they are right now in a troubleshooting task. So I want to show you a little bit, what they are actually seeing right now, the teams. So those who are, before flag 10, so they are on this Cisco Networking Academy, and they are solving some challenges inside, this Networking Academy. And right now, the top teams are in the next phase, that is this Cisco office, and they are now trying to solve a troubleshooting an issue in the network. And if they are not able to solve it, they won't be able to continue, because the network is the base for everything.
Amazing. Well, Ahmed, I think I just saw Bahrain come into second place.
They're jumping, eh? Now they're at first place with Romania.
Which academy is this in Bahrain? Do you know who these guys are?
AUB.
Okay, AUB. All right, AUB. We see you. We see you. All right.
Keep going, guys.
Can we go down the standings a little bit? Let's try to give a little bit of strength to some of our lower class teams.
The difference is it's very tight still, Armand. Like you can see, like there's 9 flags, 8 flags, 7. So they could just easily flip the situation.
That's right. So if you're playing right now for the Iraqi Lions, you have all the capacity and still a whole lot of time to claim those flags. One quick question, because I know that you shared it earlier. Raquel and Karim, how many points are deducted when you use a hint?
So there are 2 types of hints. There are hints, let's say, who give you a little bit of help, and you will get -2 points, or you will pay 2 points, let's say, from your score to get them. But there are other hints that will get you closer to the answer, and therefore they cost 5 points.
Okay. And yesterday during the semifinal, did we see a lot of people using hints or no?
There was variety, I think, Karim, right?
Yeah, we have seen that they have completed the 100th flag, remember, yesterday, a lot of them, but with 3-4 hints, so not that much from flags. So no.
I think they, probably today they know, they have learned from the experience yesterday that, if they take hints, they get less points. So even if they get there faster, they will get less points. So probably people today will be very scary to take any hint. And probably won't do it, until it's necessary.
Exceeding the limit of just putting an answer. Do you want to just remind them about the rules as well about exceeding?
No, so yeah, and the difference also between yesterday and today is yesterday they have a limited number of attempts. So they had maximum of 10 attempts. If you don't get it in 10, then that flag is, you cannot get it. But today is open. You still get penalties for incorrect attempts, but today is open. We want them to progress. We want them to continue. We don't want them to get stuck. But it will be penalties if you don't get it right the first and the second time. So people will probably be, going very steadily and making sure that they are, entering the right answer.
Right. Okay. And let me ask you this about yesterday's competition, and maybe answer each one at a time. We'll start with you, Karim. Karim, what was your favorite question that you guys put together from the Real Madrid Learning Collection? What was your favorite one?
Well, that's a very tough one, Armand. It was 100 questions. I think most of them were really great. And but this question, when it comes at the last part in the competition, maybe the last mission especially, we have added a lot of difficulty on those questions. So we were looking who gonna just bypass this challenge. So I believe the last missions in the competition were the best for me.
Okay, fantastic. What about you, Raquel?
Well, I think as we were mentioning yesterday, we try to make sometimes the questions a little bit tricky, so they are not that straightforward. I think my favorite flags are actually the ones they are going through today. But yesterday, there were also some flags where we were trying to not going straight for the answer. So actually the first flag was about the capacity of the Bernabeu, but it was not like, what is the size? It was like, before it was Campo de Chamartín, that it has this capacity. Now, what is the difference? Like how many more fans they can get? So it's very simple, okay? That was the first one just to get started. But people need to really go look how much, what's the capacity for Campo de Chamartín, how much is now, then do a simple, calculation, and then they get it. But it's the questions like that, it makes them not go straight for the answer that I actually like the most.
Okay, great. Awesome. Thank you so much. Let's have one more look at the leaderboard, zoomed in, please, so that we can make sure that we have one last check-in before our next segment. So leading, we have Romania with Bahrain in second, France, Belgium, and then, and it's just changed again. France coming into the fourth place now. So as you guys can see, it changes every single second, every time there's an update. But Ahmed, we got someone very special up next.
We want to make networking cool again.
That's right.
Yes, so it's time for a very interesting session. Ex-Cisconian, who became a big influencer, popular figure.
And can I tell you something? At Cisco Live, she is literally a superstar. She kind of walks through, and you know how superstars have that aura where like people are confused, like, can I come up to them? Can I talk to them? If I talk to them, like, you know, it's always like a little bit intimidating. So it's because of the passion I felt for this competition that I grabbed my courage with my two hands. And I kind of, intercepted her as she was crossing the room and said, listen, Alexis, we would love to talk to you. So Alexis, can you hear us? You good?
I can. You guys are too funny. You're too kind. It's a real pleasure to be here with everyone today.
It's a pleasure to have you. And honestly, we've been following you on LinkedIn. Congratulations already on this amazing reconversion. Congratulations and thank you for pushing kind of this thought leadership, right? And getting people excited, getting people motivated, getting people informed. Ahmed, maybe you have a quick question so that we can kick Alexis's presentation off.
Absolutely. So Alexis, show us why networking is the most exciting career in the digital world. The floor is yours.
I have so many things I could say about this. Number one, I think what most people don't realize is that network engineering is the backbone of every other technology out there. And to touch on my own journey a little bit, believe it or not, I did not grow up dreaming about being an influencer for network engineers. I actually studied aerospace engineering in college down at Embry-Riddle. That's where I got my 4-year. And I pivoted after school to go into IT. I heard about Cisco. I was very, very fortunate to get into a sales training program with Cisco. And I took my CCNA and CCNP during COVID. That was it. That was my experience. And so the opportunity that the Networking Academy is giving all of you to get hands-on and build connections and really learn these technologies is so, so valuable. But after that, I started making memes on TikTok, right? It's kind of funny looking back. I was originally helping out Cisco's marketing team stand up their TikTok, and I was making like the OG memes back during 2020 and 2021. And what ended up happening is that I was getting questions from customers all the time about the content I was making because the memes were so technical and clearly things that only other network engineers would get. And that's what really pivoted into the talking head content that a lot of you guys see now, where I'm doing technical explainers or industry news and events and things like that. But initially, my experience, just to level set with everyone, I turned 29 this year, and I graduated high school back in 2015. And when we think about how the internet first started, right, back in the early 2000s, studying network engineering was like the coolest thing you could do. When I talk to older engineers that have been in the field or been in the game for a while, they're like, oh my God, all I wanted to do when I graduated college was to go build the internet, right? And when I think back to my experience with the internet at that time, it was a lot of instant messaging my friends after school, or saving messages to floppy disks in computer class. Like it was all still very new. And so the initial engineers that went and built all of that out, it was so exciting because you were just trying to help everyone get connected. But by the time I graduated high school in 2015, the internet, as we know it today, was the new normal, right? Everyone was just using it in their daily lives, whether that was MapQuest being replaced by GPS or not using, I forget what it was, the library search the old way you used to do it. Like everything was online, all of the research, the references you needed for your research papers. Everyone was just taking the internet for granted. You could use Wikipedia as a resource instead of a book in your paper. And because of that, when I went to choose a career and when a lot of my peers went to choose careers, no one was really thinking about network engineering. You were looking at things more like computer science, machine learning, data science, data analytics. I chose aerospace. And to me, this was kind of an effect of everyone assumed the internet was always going to be there, right? And what's really cool is that now when we're looking at the next era of the internet, okay, we built the baseline, we built all these applications on it, all of these cloud services on it. And now when we're looking at AI workloads or some of these applications that are becoming very, very advanced, the network is still the backbone. And the way that we need to pivot to support some of these technologies is brand new, right? Like it's almost like we're rebuilding portions of the internet to support these technologies so that we can bring humanity into the future, which is really cool. And you guys with the Cisco Networking Academy and the skills that you're learning here are so pivotal to anything else that's going to go on. And what's really cool is that the skills that you're learning through this program, through getting hands-on here today, are what's going to carry you through the rest of your career. I talk to senior engineers every day, even some that have moved on from network engineering. Maybe they went into cybersecurity or they went into a different aspect of technology. And they still tell me, Alexis, what you're posting about online and getting people excited about networking again is so important because those skills are fundamental and you will use them throughout the base of your career. So even if you decide to move away from network engineering in the future, the things that you are learning today will still serve you. And I just think that you couldn't be making a better decision than, being here today and spending time with the Cisco team. I think it's just such an exciting opportunity and I'm happy to be involved.
Thanks so much, Alexis. We really appreciate one of the things that really, first of all, what stood out to me immediately was that, you were saying that when you kind of came out, you wanted to rebuild the internet, right? Or you wanted to build the internet. And, one of the things that I think is so crucial that we try to communicate when we can to our students, but it's really important to always remind them is that by these little steps, by these module by module learning of skills, right? They acquire the capacity to drive massive influence on a world scale, whether it's revamping a stadium, whether it's securing the network of a crucial hospital. These are real world impacts that they can deliver by transforming the world with their skills and using technology to do it. Let me ask you this, because now you're a world traveler, right? You're a frequent flyer. You've got every single card. You've got the Emirates card. You've got the Air France card.
I wish.
Okay. So tell me, when you travel around and you do these industry events, what is the first thing that kind of really jumps out at you? Actually, no, let me rephrase that. What's the first thing you go to kind of take a look at? Like when you go to like our events or competitors' events or some of other editors' events, what's the first thing that you're interested in? Is it like putting your hands on the technology? Is it talking to the engineers? What's the first stop for you?
Ooh, usually if there's some sort of community hub, we talked a little bit earlier about building relationships, but one of the biggest things for me at conferences is the ability to catch up with people. And it's funny now because I've been to so many trade shows, you start to see the same people at every one. And I'll see them multiple times a year, just never in the same location, right? Which is funny to look back on. But usually these conferences will have some sort of community hub, and the people that gather there are also looking to make friends and build connections. So you can go there, follow each other on social media, get connected on LinkedIn. There's usually some sort of networking cards or questionnaires, or there's an activity that you can do to help you meet people. Because let's face it, a lot of times when you're going to these events or these conferences, you might be going alone, right? Maybe you're going with one other person on your team, but you're not just there to learn about the technology. You're also there to build relationships. And a lot of the conference organizers are understanding that it can be intimidating to just walk up to someone in the hallway or, strike up a conversation with someone you're sitting next to in a session. And so they'll try to build in ways through the community hubs to help you do that. And so that's usually where I check in with first.
All right, awesome. Ahmed, any questions for Alexis?
Yes, Alexis. What's your goal, the next stage in you being an influencer? What's your next big thing?
Ooh. Wow. It's so ironic you're asking me that. I was doing a lot of reflecting on that today. I'm actually in Japan right now. And so the afternoon time, everyone's asleep. And so I've had some quiet time by myself to sit and reflect. Making network engineering cool again, number one, right? Just continuing to evangelize technology and what types of technical careers people can get involved with. I think that the internet, I grew up in a really small town. Okay. I didn't have exposure to a lot of things. Neither of my parents had college degrees. I didn't have a, brother, uncle, next door neighbor, or anyone that worked in tech. Right. And so when I was choosing a career, I really didn't know what to pick. And I think there's a lot of high school students with the same, college students with the same perspective, right? Maybe you don't have that many external influences. And the thing is, when you're making decisions, you are making decisions based off of your sphere of exposure, the things that you are exposed to. And if you aren't exposed to that many things, the amount of decisions that you're making are limited because you just don't know what other options are out there. But with the internet today, you can be exposed to so many different career paths, lifestyles, opportunities. Just by consuming other people's content, you can see, oh, that's what the day in the life of a dentist looks like. Actually, I don't want to do that. I thought it sounded kind of cool, but now seeing what that guy's daily life is like, or an airline pilot, maybe you don't want to be on the road that much it sounds cool, but now that you see the behind the scenes, how many times they have to work out in different random gyms and the fact that they never have a kitchen, maybe you don't like eating out, you can start to put the pieces together with different career paths. And it's the same thing with technology. Think about, we just talked about how many different directions your career can go in. Network engineering is the base. But when you don't know, you don't know what you don't know. And so by encouraging other people to post on the internet and put themselves out there and get exposed to other career paths, meet new people, I just think it's really, really important for our industry, but also for the next generations of students and their decision-making process. And so that's going to be a big focus of mine moving forward.
Thank you.
Alexis, let me ask you, we've got you for a few more minutes, so I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity. Right?
I'm happy you're asking me.
With a superstar.
I'm happy you're asking me questions. I was like, I've got 20 minutes. Can I talk for 20 minutes straight?
So, all right. For one thing that I really want to highlight that you mentioned that's absolutely crucial, and it's the reason why the Cisco Networking Academy has invested so heavily into developing introductory content that is usable on the cell phone, right? It's about, and so, this is a message to all the students, but all the instructors, all the partners that are watching us right now. Alexis just hammered home one of the most important points. We are at a unique time in history where people can be exposed on a massive scale to things that they know nothing about. And that exposure to knowledge can transform their lives, transform their projected career path, their aspirations, their ambitions, and in turn, potentially transform the lives of their families. So I really wanted to highlight that point. That's an excellent point. Thank you for that, Alexis. So a couple of personal questions. Number one, you're in Japan right now, correct?
Yes.
What has been your favorite thing about this Japanese trip so far?
Oh, all the food.
Tough question. I know. You're on the spot.
I think I have eaten my way through this country more so than any other country. And I think what's been really unique and something that's different here, I haven't noticed other places, is that a lot of the restaurants I've been in, they specialize in serving one type of food. I feel like when you go to a lot of American restaurants, they'll give you a whole menu and you can pick, there's 10 or 15 different things you can pick. And you go to a restaurant here and it's like, we serve ramen. or we serve tonkatsu, right? And that's it. And they do that one thing really, really good. And it's great. It's been great.
That's a great point. And actually, yesterday we went for Japanese as well ourselves, did we not? Yeah, so there you go. Shared ambitions and shared appetites. So another question for you. You said you grew up in a small town. What was the sport of choice? What was the number one sport in your small town? Sport.
Well, I grew up in Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Okay, that's football country, right?
Football, but the American kind.
Yeah. Okay. And did you play any sports in high school before you went to college?
Not any worth mentioning. Not that I was good at. I was the kid. I got LASIK eye surgery earlier this year. I used to have glasses that I wore all the time. And I remember playing softball when I was in grade school. And it was before I got my glasses. And they put me on the outfield, probably because they realized I couldn't see anything. They didn't want me getting hit by the ball. And I remember the day after getting my glasses, I just stood out there during the game. I was like, oh my God, the trees have leaves. This is crazy. That was the last sport I ever played. I ran track a little bit in high school, and I ran the 2 mile. We had a state winning 4x4 team. They won gold at states every year. So my coach would put me on track for the 2 mile and say, run a little slower. The boys need some extra rest.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. Well, listen, first of all, 1,000 thank yous for having joined us. We hope that this is just the first of many, many collaborations with you, because I think the more our learners can have access to people like you who are changing the game, talking about it in a new way, the more they're going to be inspired to do new things with their skills and go for ever broader horizons. So Alexis, a huge thank you.
Thank you so much.
And we look forward to seeing you again soon.
It's been a pleasure. And if anyone has questions, you know where to find me. digital.byte on almost all platforms. Happy to be a resource and happy to be involved. I think this is such a great program, and it's such an opportunity to get these skills and this hands-on so young for these students. So really make sure you guys are taking advantage of it. And I'll see you guys later.
Thank you very much, Alexis. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
See ya.
Time for check-in.
Before we go for the check-in, I know I said I wouldn't do it, but I'm going to get a little bit personal with you, because a lot of people don't know this, but actually out of the two, well, now when you look at us physically, you can pretty much get the idea, but out of the two, one of us was actually a really high-level footballer back in his home country. Ahmed, tell me what football has been in your life. Tell me how it's structured your life, and maybe because often we talk about the technical skills, about the soft skills, but it's also about taking care of ourselves physically, right? Also helps with the mind. So what has football brought to you as a sport?
Well, in the early stages of my life, football was almost everything. I was dreaming about football. I was eating, drinking, everything was about football.
Okay.
I remember my mother used to take me to the playground when I was like 6 years old. Okay. I used to play with other kids. And then one of the coaches saw me and he said, okay, I'm going to take you, you're going to play with us. And I was like, really, back in the days, I was taller than the average people in my age. So I was a bit bigger.
Now the short guys
now
got their revenge.
Yes. My growth hormones were supporting heavily in the early stages. So I was playing a 6 and I was very crazy about it. So everything in my life was about football. And after that, I regret many things that I've done, but yeah, thank God.
Do you think, is there a particular thing, other than obviously your amazing shape, is there a particular thing that football and your time spent in the world of football has left in your professional and your everyday?
Discipline, consistency. You have to keep doing what you're doing every day. Small progress gets you there. Don't ever think of big jumps, because you will never get there that way. Easy come, easy go. That's just, it's all about consistency.
Guys, a lifelong lesson that you can apply even to everything that you're doing within your Cisco Networking Academy, within your studies: discipline, consistency, baby steps, take it step by step, day by day. This is how we are able to acquire this foundational skills and then the expert skills that get us to the amazing levels of some of the presenters that we've had today. Absolutely. And I have to say that when I was listening to Alexis, the one thing that really stood out to me was the completely kind of fresh perspective that she brings on both the career, the industry, and I think, we may be just on the cusp of a wonderful new era where these kind of new, different voices are going to come and kind of push and do the thought leadership around our industry. And I really hope, Alexis, if you're still listening to us, again, hats off to the conversion, because it's a big risk to take. You did it and you're rocking it. All right, so we've taken you guys all the way through to 15 minutes from time. So now is the right time to do a check-in. Can we get the scoreboard up? And can we also take a zoom in on the teams competing, please?
Romania.
Thank you. Romania coming in first, with Portugal in second, Bulgaria in third, Romania in fourth, France 5, and Tunisie. Ah, voilà les Tunisiens. Il faut se motiver les Tunisiens. Let's go. Come on. As we know, we have 15 minutes left, but look, there it is. The Iraq Lions have climbed up into 10th, went from bottom up to 10th. So it is not over. It is not over. It is far from over. Still 15 minutes. And as we can see, people are accumulating flags. If you're following us and you were not here
Keep
earlier,
going, guys. You can make it.
That's right. And if you weren't with us earlier, please remember that every time a team uses a hint, they lose. They get a few points deducted from their score. So even if you see a team accelerate all the way
Lions
up,
are climbing. Qatar as well.
there you go. There's
Keep
Qatar.
going,
There you go. Hey, here we go.
Yes.
There we go. Your regional manager is finally getting into it. I knew he was going to warm up on this thing.
Yes.
All right, guys. So what's amazing about this is that simultaneously you have teams of 4 that are progressing on the exact same content. That is the concept of the Capture the Flag. And again, Raquel and Karim have been instrumental in building these amazing courses. I don't know if Chris is connected with us, if we can bring Chris in with us. Chris, can you hear us? Let's see. All right, I think Chris will join us in just a sec. There he is.
Yes.
Chris,
Hi,
how
guys.
you doing?
Oh, good. Yeah, it's been really exciting watching this, and fantastic presenters as well.
I'll
Really
tell you what, I did take during the commercial break, I did go down to the bookies, and I'm a little bit upset. My team is definitely not within the top 3, so I'm gonna lose money on this situation. So I won't say who you are, but
it's moving fast. Yeah.
so Chris, obviously we've heard from some amazing speakers, and we've had some amazing testimonials. You're the typical of example of one man, many companies, many different careers. Tell us a little bit about why you chose to join the Digital Impact Office, and how that's kind of, the value that it's brought to your everyday life.
Yeah. First of all, I should explain what the Digital Impact Office is, right? I guess.
That's a good start.
So it's a Cisco, part of the Cisco organization, and it's a combination of things. So first of all, the Country Digital Acceleration Program, where we partner with governments, industry, academia from around the world to invest in digital adoption projects. So the idea is that there's so much capability that technology has nowadays that it's probably underused and under-leveraged in lots of parts of our lives. So we want to encourage the adoption of that technology to drive economic growth and improve the lives of people. And we invest real Cisco money in partnership with governments into those projects. So that's the CDA program. And then the other side of the house is what we have here, right, which is the Networking Academy, and also our Cisco U that we do with our Cisco customers. So all of that, like external learning, so the learning with our partners. So that's a huge piece. So what got me involved in it? So, well, first of all, I'm very passionate about Cisco's purpose. So Cisco's purpose is, if you don't know, is to power an inclusive future for all, right? And that's not just a slogan. That's something we really believe in Cisco, and it's something we actively do every day at work. And the Digital Impact Office that I joined under Guy Diedrich, who's the global lead of the program, the idea is to make that purpose come alive in the market. So to power an inclusive future for all, and that all bit is a key part. So over 25% of the world's population is not even connected to the internet, right? It does not. So we want to make sure that the huge advantages in technology and improvements that it brings to people's lives, that no one gets left behind, and as many people as possible benefit from huge benefits that technology brings. We want to make sure everyone has a part in that, and that's what got me interested and got me involved in the Digital Impact Office.
All right, thank you for that, Chris. And we wouldn't be honest with ourselves and with this competition without asking about your own personal football history, your own personal football story. So whilst it probably wasn't with Real Madrid, I mean, your Spanish accent is exquisite, but I'm going to guess that your first football experience wasn't with Real Madrid. But maybe can you walk us through, do you have maybe in your memory the moment that you fell in love with football?
Yeah, so look, a lot of people know, but I'm a big Liverpool supporter. I live just outside Liverpool. I'm a big Liverpool supporter, and I played as well, not to the same standard as Ahmed, but I did play for the school and things like that, but not to his level. But my earliest memories really in the 1970s with my dad taking me to Anfield, and in those days it was all standing, right? And my dad made a small wooden stool for me, painted it red and white for me to stand on because I was only small, so I could see. We went in the paddock, that part of the ground, and we would go to the match with my dad and some of my dad's mates. And it wasn't so much the football, it was more the day and the event and spending time with my dad. And and I've tried to do the same with my son, Patrick. So I take him to the match and we go the match together. And so it goes. I think Neves mentioned, it's not something you choose, you inherit it. And it's part of your DNA and part of your culture. And, it's something I'm very passionate about. I think someone said once, it's the most important, least important thing. Right.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. Ahmed, anything for the boss?
Yes. So Chris, regarding Liverpool, again, going back to Liverpool and the history behind it, how did the Beatles play a role in the connection with the Liverpool fans and the club and the city?
Okay, so if anyone ever comes to Liverpool and you wander around the city centre, you'll see a lot of stuff around the Beatles. So I guess, that's one of the things that Liverpool's famous for. But there's a bit of debate, actually, because I think a lot of them were Everton supporters, is what the Evertonians tell me. But if I've seen in interviews that Paul McCartney says he supports Liverpool and Everton, right? But
it's on the record. It's on the record.
And it's the derby on Sunday, right? So Liverpool, Everton on Sunday at Everton's new stadium, which is right on the River Mersey. And I think there's going to be, they have these big signs now that they put up above the fans. And I think there's going to be one with the Beatles. And the way I remember it, they had the red and white scarf on. Fans are going to make sure that's blue and white, unfortunately.
That's a good one.
All right. Let's get the scoreboard because we're down to the last 8 minutes of competition. Now, guys, here's the deal. Because at the end of the competition, we need to do some calculations and make sure all the right points are counted. We will remove the scoreboard for the last minute. And then Chris will connect with us again to crown and announce the champion. But let's go straight to the scoreboard. Can you put the scoreboard up for us, please, in big so that we can see it? All right. First place right now, Romania with Portugal, Izep. Second, France. Third, Bulgaria. Fourth, and Tunisia. Fifth. It is a dead heat, but it looks like Romania has pulled away with 631 points. Corneliu, the BDM from Romania, must be jumping up and down in his seat right now. In Constanza, as far as Portugal is concerned, Izep, one of our strongest academies in Portugal, still in the hunt. Do not give up. You still have some time. You have 8 minutes to come and scratch these points. On our right side, by the way, we see the most valuable players. Those are the players that have accumulated the most points. So Alex 44, UZK3, and Sulim, congratulations. You guys are rocking it by your performance. There we go. And Ahmed Nasser, again, coming up into 5th place in the total point getters. I gotta say, I'm blown away by the level that we're seeing right now.
I love it. They're all winners. We just be very proud of where they have reached. those teams are the best among 108,000.
That's right. The best,
So-
not only the best among the best in 72 nations that competed. So when each and every one of the teams here, the 24 teams, there are 72 other countries that have to call you guys the boss
Yes.
at the end of the day. So and of course we do have some wonderful prizes for everybody, no matter what, because everybody's a winner. We even
Absolutely.
got our own prizes, these lovely jerseys that we're wearing right now.
I'm still
Right?
looking for the same.
Well, guys, unbelievable. Still looks like Romania is holding on. And
Yes.
if you guys can see, it seems like they've jumped into some of the other sections of the map to be able to accumulate points, having moved on from that second leg. If we go
Fine, good
down,
strategy.
yeah, good strategy.
You
Mhm.
can
Good
expense those
strategy.
shirts in, guys, if you want, by the way.
Aye?
You can expense those shirts in if you want. That's okay.
For everybody to know, Cisco is a great and generous company to work for. Let that be clear to everyone who's watching us online. So
I'll tell you what, I'm super impressed, by the way. Well, first of all, to all of the people that have got this far, 108,000 people started on this journey. So all of the people that are on this screen have done a fantastic job, and we'll be able to put this on their CVs no matter what happens. But I'm also super impressed by the teams, that were at the bottom and kept going and shot up the table. It just shows like real tenacity and
Yes.
yeah, thanks for that, Chris. And here's the key thing that I think we don't remember from last year. But we have teams that were bounced out in the semifinal stage that are in the final right now, right? So this is a message to all the teams who made it to the semifinal and teams who didn't qualify for the semifinal but fought hard to get there. As you can see, here we have teams that have never made it to a semifinal or final. They're in the final right now, competing to be champion of EMEA. Yesterday, we had teams that qualified for the final that got bounced out in the last minute by teams that had never been here before. So this is the message for all of you who are at home who are watching this. This is an unbelievable competition where every school, irrespective of your size, it doesn't matter which country you come from, you can qualify and make it here and be on this standing that we're watching right here. And Ahmed, first of all, I want to tip my cap also to you, my friend, because the mobilization amongst the EMEA CIS team has been absolutely incredible. And we saw some unbelievable participation stats, in particular off the continent of Africa. And that really just shows the global footprint that we have, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And we are everywhere, Aman. We are everywhere in Europe, Middle East, Africa, CIS. We are doing a lot of great work, and no other company could match that. I personally have witnessed a lot of these, but Cisco is far ahead of the game. And because we have fantastic teams, and they have really good ecosystems that's been built over the time and years, and loyal people who've been going through the program. So
that's right. And I'm sure the stat was mentioned earlier, but with all the excitement, I've forgotten it already. But for those of you who are just connecting and getting to know the Cisco Networking Academy today, we've been around for 27 years. That's 27 years of delivering this impact day in, day out with academies and instructors all over the world.
yes.
That's why this global footprint is something special. And I think today's crazy competition has shown that our DNA is a little bit different as well, isn't
Absolutely.
it?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right. Can we go back to the scoreboard? Because we're getting close. It's 4:57 Paris time on a glorious Friday afternoon. The sun is out. The competition's warming up. We've got Romania ahead with 760 points, but Izep with 538. If they could just crack a few questions, they may be able to jump
Bahrain
back
as
into
well.
this
They're
thing.
close now.
Now it's the
They're
race
getting
also to get
closer.
into the top 10. Iraq, we see a few of the Iraqi teams that are creeping into the top 10
Tunisia,
here.
Bahrain. Yes.
The Marconi Hackers, who have been champions before, at
Oh,
this
yeah.
point, they're finishing around 11th, just to show how crazy this competition can be and how tough it is to compete at this stage of excellence. We really are only dealing with the best. As I look over at the most valuable player scoreboard, I have to say that I'm really impressed at how many points these individuals are getting. Can I tell you? I don't think I would pass 20. Like if I passed 20, I honestly would just leave my team and I'd say, there you go, MVP, mic drop, I'm done. I mean, I don't know about you. Although I feel like you would get you just out of your
You already got your
willpower.
You already got your jersey already.
That's
so you don't need points. Your boss give it to you now.
All right, guys. One last focus on the ranking table, and then we will take it off and we will go for a quick interlude as we finish the calculation. Let's look at one last look. Here it is. Romania in first, Portugal in second. Bahrain has crept up back up to third, putting our second Romanian team in fourth place. This is it. This is the final stretch. We're into the last minute, I believe. Yes, we are. We're into the last minute. Production says yes. We're going to take the scoreboard off the screen, and we're going to focus in on our two beautiful faces. Guys, it's been an amazing final so far. We've laughed. We've learned. We've loved. We've had, I think, a great experience.
Yes.
But the key thing is we want to thank everybody who tuned in to watch us today.
Absolutely. Big thanks to everyone. Really. It's a great work, a great effort. And I'm very proud. Very proud.
I'm very proud as well. And I think that, honestly, we are, at this point, wrapping up what has been an absolutely unique and beautiful experience. As we come into the last 20 seconds, I think, as we come into the last 20 seconds, we've thanked a lot of people, but we'll thank you again, everybody who made this possible. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that's it. And that's it. We're going to hold here. We're going to wait for a few minutes for us to tabulate the results. And then we're going to be able to get Chris back on to announce the winner, the champion. As a reminder, the champion will be going to the Bernabeu Stadium. We'll be going to a VIP box to watch a match. We'll be able to speak with the entire technical staff and the technical team to understand everything that we described in today's program. It is a unique experience.
Absolutely.
It can only be brought to you by a company like Cisco. And I am extremely excited to see who will be crowned. I'm sure our BDMs are biting their fingers right now. There's a lot at stake here. There's a lot on the line.
Yeah.
I'll look over to production to see if we have our winners that are already ready. Not yet. Production says no. Production says no. All right, guys, we're going to have to wait for a few more minutes. I will say that at the end of the day, after 2 hours, honestly, football commentating, it's not that hard. It's not that hard. You know what I mean?
It's not that easy as well.
Yeah, but
because you need to continue going. You know.
I know, but
if you have the skill, you have it.
Just imagine if we had stats, like if we knew the ages and the backgrounds of some of these players, we would have had 10 hours of conversation.
I think for you, it's going to be very easy. I think for you don't need any training or anything. You just can do it.
That's why they call me Ahmed's hype man. I'm the guy who hypes it.
He helps me a lot.
I hype him up. I hype him up. I hype him up. All right, production, how we doing? Looks like we have a winner. Can we connect Chris back onto the screen, please? All right, Chris Reeves. There have been many moments in your career. There have been many highs, hopefully not too many lows. But this is obviously one of the most important moments in your storied career.
It's an aha moment.
An aha moment. There you go. The aha moment for Chris Reeves is about to happen now. We're going to turn it over to you to announce the winner and the champion of the 2026 EMEA Real Madrid NetAcad Cup.
Thanks, Armand and Ahmed. Fantastic job, by the way, guys, presenting it. I'm sure you could do this on television. I mean, you've done a really great job. I felt the energy. You've kept it going. It's a long shift. Really great work, guys. Look, so just before I announce the winner, which I've got, I just want to say congratulations to the 24 teams. And a lot, we talked about careers and people. Just the advice I give to people in the careers is it's all about showing up, right? And all 24 teams showed up here. And to get to the finals, 108,000 students took part in this, off 72 countries, over 500 academies. So plaudits to all of you. But what I'd like to do now is announce the winner. But before we do that, Armand, I just want to ask, how do you know what the weather's like in Paris if you're in the Bernabeu in Madrid?
We're in the virtual Bernabeu, which thanks to Cisco technology can be anywhere. That's it. That's why.
Right.
That's why.
It's a little diversion, but now I'm going to announce the winner. And I was watching the table throughout the process, and this team took an early lead and led from the front and were at the front all the way through the process. They had a healthy lead and the lead closed, but they kept the gap to the end. And the winners and the team that will be going to the Bernabeu Stadium to get the whole experience that we're going to lay on for them is the team from Romania. Vlad, outstanding performance. Really well done. Congratulations to all of you.
Congratulations,
guys.
Congratulations to our brothers from Romania. Congratulations to Corneliu. You are the champion BDM within the team. Congratulations to the 24 teams that participated. It has been incredible.
Great team.
It has been emotional. Ahmed, my brother, what a journey. I cannot wait to do next year's final with you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And guys, that's it from us in the virtual Bernabeu. After one of the most amazing finals that we've ever witnessed in any of these competitions. That's it from us. Have a great weekend. Stay safe, enjoy yourselves, and we will see you next year for the next final. Ala Madrid.
Real Madrid.